10 times the mass of the Sun up to half the speed of light, and tiny amounts of friction and collisions between particles at a black hole to a billion degrees, making the space under their control is blocked by an invisible one-way border called the event horizon. If you were to try to get close, the event horizon forms a shell around a region of space. First of all, that once entered is shielded from the rest of the universe forever. Matter isn't the only black hole trapdoor deformed space so much stronger not even light can orbit too. And with nothing escaping just outside the information horizon, at the photon sphere, in any direction looks like, you just see yourself. We can still observe black holes straight because ahead would be the back of your own head. As light from your back travels around the black hole to your eyes, the sun or a planet. Gravity also alters the passage of time itself. Matter orbiting the stronger the gravity, the slower time passes. This matter can become incredibly hot above you speed up. Those far away will watch you in speed of motion. And tiny amounts if you chose to fly away from the black particles, you might find that billions have passed for the rest of the universe around a freakish one-way time travel trip to the future where your loved ones are long dead. What would happen if you were to try to get close or getting close to a black hole can be incredibly dangerous. You'd see the strangest funhouse spaghettification awaits you. Matter because your feet are closer to the black hole than your head, gravity is so stronger pull of gravity light enough to pull you apart. If you hovered just outside the event horizon, at the photon sphere, in any direction, you just see yourself. Straight ahead would be the back of your own head, as light from your back travels around the black hole to your eyes. Gravity also alters the passage of time itself. The stronger the gravity, the slower time passes. While you watch the universe above you speed up, those far away will watch you in slow motion. If you chose to fly away from the black hole, you might find that eons have passed for the rest of the universe, a freakish one-way time travel trip to the future where your loved ones are long dead. But getting close to a black hole can be incredibly dangerous. A painful death by spaghettification awaits you. Because your feet are closer to the black hole than your head, they feel a stronger pull of gravity enough to pull you apart. As you descend, it gets worse. The pulling gets stronger, your body squeezed thinner and straighter until you've been reduced to a thin stream of hot plasma, gobbled up in one final slurp, never to be seen again. Spaghettification is only a risk with smaller black holes since they have much smaller radii. If you go to the center of a galaxy and find a supermassive black hole, you might be able to experience crossing the event horizon. As you approach the event horizon, a distant observer would think they never saw you enter it, seeing you stop and fade. The last light you emit trickling up and out away from the event horizon. Meanwhile, from your perspective, the void of the black hole rises up to meet you as light from fewer directions can reach you. The blackness envelops you until your only view of the universe you left is a tiny spot of light. Here, inside the event horizon, space and time are so horribly broken that real time travel is possible, so it's probably a good thing that nothing gets out. If anything could escape, it could create all sorts of time travel paradoxes and issues that break the universe. As scary as the event horizon is, it keeps us safe from that drama. Whether you have survived this long doesn't really matter. There's only the certainty of crushing death in your near future. Inside the event horizon, space-time itself is so bent and warped that whatever direction you move here, every forward you go leads only towards the center of the black hole. Trying to go in any direction only brings you to the center faster. To survive the longest, you must do nothing. In the center of the black hole, we find the singularity. A single point with the singularities that has ever crossed the event horizon, museum, all crushed to a point like electrons. There is no like fundamental particles that made it. The properties of singularities are the best ways we can describe them on paper, rather than an accurate representation of reality. This actually breaks the universe in really cool ways, namely general relativity. Are just not able to describe or explain them. But in a nutshell, everything that comes to space becomes black hole matter concentrated at the singularity. And our rules just this lack of a memory of its past. The singularity black hole has only three properties. Something like a divided by zero electric charge. Everything else, so singularities might not even exist. They're a lot like fundamental particles completely different things. But this is all we know right now from black hole in the universe is from our best current theory of space-time. Mass is different, also basically everything you've ever heard about. But if we were to put all the singularities into a magical physics museum, they'd be identical because their mass is so much easier. But just like fundamental particles were born from dying singularities are the best ways we can describe them on paper, rather than black holes in the universe should be spinning right now. Our current incredible speeds, namely general relativity, are just not able to describe. This means that in reality, black holes are even more screwed up than they usually get credit for. Density becomes infinite. The singularities of rotating black holes are even wilder. The singularity has no causes them to swell outwards into a sort of divide by zero error in the universe. This rotation is so singularities might not even exist, is dragged along, be completely different. This creates another region around. But this is all we know right now, called the best prediction we have, where it's impossible to stay still, no matter how hard you try. Also, like basically everything you've ever heard about black holes, even in this video, is about theoretical black holes that are spinning whether you want to or not. Is so much easier. Okay, but since black holes were born from dying stars as the universe ages and dies around moments, as far as we know, all black holes in the universe should be spinning right now. At incredible speeds too, up to 90% of the speed of light. This means that in reality, black holes are even more screwed up than they usually get credit for. The singularities of rotating black holes are even wilder. The rotation causes them to swell outwards into a sort of ringularity. This rotation is so powerful that space itself is dragged along. This creates another region around spinning black holes called the ergosphere, where it's impossible to stay still no matter how hard you try. Like a rushing whirlpool of space-time, the tide is irresistible, and the black hole makes you orbit it whether you want to or not. Okay. So what will happen to black holes as the universe ages and dies around them? Again, we don't know, but we have some ideas based on our current understanding of physics. Hawking radiation. In quantum field theory, the vacuum of space is boiling with quantum fluctuations. These fluctuations are creating matter and antimatter pairs of particles from nothing which only exist for a very short time before annihilating. When this happens near the event horizon of a black hole, one of these particles can fall in, stopping them from annihilating. The escaping particle is Hawking radiation. Ultimately, the mass of this particle must come from the black hole, so over eons, black holes will shrink and radiate away. Hawking radiation is not the stuff that fell into the black hole, it's new stuff, stealing mass from it. As the black hole shrinks, the Hawking radiation gets stronger, faster and faster, until what's left eventually evaporates in a flash of high-energy radiation like a nuclear bomb. And then, nothing. But that won't happen for a long time. A black hole with the mass of our Sun has a lifetime of 10 to the power of 67 years, which means that it would take 10,000 billion years to lose 0.00000001% of its mass. But most black holes are way more massive than our Sun. The most massive supermassive black holes in the centers of galaxies have lifetimes of 10 to the power of 100 years. How long is that? Imagine an hourglass filled with 1 grain of sand for every single particle in the universe. Every 10 billion years, 1 single grain of sand falls to the bottom. If we waited for all the sand to fall down, not even 1% of the lifetimes of these black holes would have passed. There is no good concept to help our brains grasp these timescales. Will we ever truly understand black holes? Really know what's going on inside them? No one knows. We can only see their outsides, and the theories we have probably get their insides wrong. But it's okay to not know everything. It just means there's still work to be done. It means there are still mysteries to solve and big ideas to think about, which is why humans do science. In the end, we can at least be sure that we still have plenty of time left to think about them before the last one melts away. If you want to continue thinking about black holes, you can do so by getting one of the many black hole-related things the Kurzgesagt team has made with love. like our black hole infographic poster that teaches you all the black hole basics, or our Choose Your Own Black Hole adventure poster that takes you on a spectacular ride and might leave you in need of a cuddle, in which case we've made a black hole and white hole plushie. And if that's still not enough, we've also just released super comfy space socks, very shiny space pins, a new tote bag and pouch set, and we have many other great space-related products that are all designed with love and care by us here at Kurzgesagt. Getting something from our shop is the best way of supporting Kurzgesagt while getting something beautiful in return. Because of you, we can keep making elaborate videos like the one you just watched and release them for free for everyone. Thank you so much for your support. The observable universe is a big place that's been around for more than 13 billion years. Up to 2 trillion galaxies made up of something like 20,000 billion stars surround our home galaxy. In the Milky Way alone, scientists assume there are some 40 billion Earth-like planets in the habitable zone of their stars. When we look at these numbers, it's hard to imagine that there is nobody else out there. It would change our perception of ourselves forever if we found others. Just knowing that this vast place is not dead would shift our perspective outwards and could help us get over our irrelevant quarrels. But before looking for our new best friends or worst enemies, we have a problem to solve. What are we actually looking for? In a universe that big and old, we have to assume that civilizations start millions of years apart from each other and develop in different directions and speeds. So, not only are we looking over distances of dozens to hundreds of thousands of light years, we're looking for a civilization ranging from cavemen to super advanced. So, we need a conceptual framework to enable us to think better thoughts that make us able to search better. Are there universal rules that intelligent species follow? Currently, our civilization sample size is only 1, so we may make incorrect assumptions based solely on ourselves. Still, better than nothing. We know that humans started out with nothing but minds and hands that could build tools. We know that humans are curious, competitive, greedy for resources, and expansionist. The more of these qualities our ancestors had, the more successful they were in the civilization building game. Being one with nature is nice, but it's not the path to irrigation systems or gunpowder or cities. So it's reasonable to assume that aliens able to take over their home planet also have these qualities. And if aliens have to follow the same laws of physics, then there is a measurable metric for progress: energy use. Human progress can be measured very precisely by how much energy we extracted from our environment and how we made it usable to do things. We started with muscles until we learned to control fire. Then we made machines that used kinetic energy from water and wind. As our machines got better and our knowledge of materials expanded, we began to harness the concentrated energy from dead plants we dug up from the ground. As our energy consumption grew exponentially, so did the abilities of our civilization. Between 1800 and 2015, population size had increased 7-fold, while humanity was consuming 25 times more energy. It's likely that this process will continue into the far future. Based on these facts, scientist Nikolai Kardashev developed a method of categorizing civilizations from cave dwellers to gods ruling over galaxies. The Kardashev scale, a method of ranking civilizations by their energy use. The scale